Hello and welcome to another episode. This one's all about the climate control and all the possible little issues you can get and unexpected things it does if you don't quite understand what's going on with it. So let's see what we've got. Well, before I start with the climate, I'll just go through some of the fixes and problems we had when we had these 2021 cars, the MY23 as it's known as. When I had mine, the remote climate control wouldn't work, and that was cured by a DATC update, which is this dual air temperature controller. There's software in that, and that is the one that seemed to fix it. It also had the HVAC inverter swapped because some of them were faulty. So this caused quite a few problems in early cars, but mine's been swapped and other bits of software have been fixed, so it's much better than it was. This is the dual auto temperature controller. It selects between entertainment and climate. In climate mode, it controls the left side and the right side climate temperature. If you press, it turns it off. To access the climate control screen, just stroke left from the first screen and press climate. Your vents, you've got central vents, and side vents, and then windscreen vents, another side vent, and then you've got vents in the side pillars, and you've got two vents under the driver's seats. Right then, I'll go for the manual controls. So you've got recirculation, but that won't do anything unless you've got the fan turned on, and you see the graphic changes there as you turn up the speed. In Europe our speed goes all the way up to 8. I don't know if it goes up that fast in other territories. To turn the whole climate off, just press the power button and that's all off. Notice that sometimes recirculation can be on and you can hear the actual the AC going. That's because you've got auto functions turned on under these settings, which I'll come to later, but it doesn't tell you what's happening if it's using the climate on these auto functions, and it doesn't decrease the range on the GOM. So you just need to be aware of that. Anyway, that's recirculation mode. You've got your rear windscreen and you've got your front defrost. And that should clear your windscreen. If the temperature's low enough, it'll put the heat on as well. If you want the heat on manually, just press heat. Temperature controls on the left and the right. To save energy, you can do driver only. I'll turn AC and heating off. Then you've got the vent controls. As I've said before, this is manual controls, so just press forward and I'll put the diagram up. Airflow is directed towards the upper body and face. It again, it's now on upper body, face, and towards the face and the floor, so it's B, C, D and F. So if I press it again, I've now got the windscreen, so you've got A, B, C, D, E and F, so that is all the vents on. So it's blowing out of the windscreen as well as all the rest of the vents everywhere else and under the back, under the front seats. Press it again, it goes down to the feet. Press it again, it's feet and windscreen. Press it again, it's just windscreen only. and again you're back to blowing it out at your body again. You've got manual heat control and you've got manual AC control, which you can turn on and off. What gets confusing and where these get overridden is in the climate settings. If you have auto-defog on, the sensor up by the mirror controls the auto-defog, and so will heat or cool on its own and will not lower the GOM range and will not tell you or illuminate the heat or the AC lights. So you have a mystery if you don't know what it's doing and what it's sending. An example of when auto-defog is working is my windscreen is quite fogged up because it's been overnight. If I put the recirculation on and then I just simply put the fan on, you'll see heat doesn't come on, AC doesn't come on. But if you look on the climate box on the energy consumption in the EV menu, you'll see it's using 9% for climate. So that proves that the auto-defog function is working in the background, even though you might not realise it. Also, the GOM range hasn't gone down. See, that says 266. So it's reporting the climate's off, but it's actually on. And the proof of the pudding, as I've said, is in the energy information screen. There. So that's a little gotcha for when you're driving along and you've got recirculate on and auto-defog and you think you're getting free energy, but your miles per kilowatt hour will go down, I guarantee it, but you might not realise it, so it's watch out for that one. If you want to do both sides of the car and not just have driver only, just turn off driver, and you can also do sync to synchronise the passenger and the driver's side. If you don't want the auto settings interfering, you can just turn them off. Anyway, so if you turn off the auto functions, the one that seems to cause the most random events is auto-defog. You can turn off auto-defog and smart ventilation and auto-dehumidify, and that uses the same sensor up by the mirror at the top. You've also got activation upon entering a tunnel, and it'll close the outside vents so you don't get exhaust fumes based on the maps data. Activation on washer fluid also. And you've also got the rear warmers, which you can turn up and down or off. And you've also got a full suite of voice commands, which I'll list at the end for the seats and the climate. Now I'll come to the auto mode. So to turn on auto climate, just press the auto climate button. And there are 3 levels of auto climate. So it's currently on high. And then you can just press it again and it lowers it. And the fan is also on auto, the auto speed fan. So that applies heat or AC to maintain the temperatures that you've set, unless you've also got the auto settings turned on. And that's where it gets confusing, where they override what's going on and you suddenly get cold air blowing or something else because it's overriding the auto functions. You've also got auto vent settings, so it alters the vents to maintain the temperature. Again, that might not be desirable for what you're actually looking for. So I think in lots of cases manual controls just might be better, and turning off some of the auto ones if they've become too annoying. If you press any of the buttons to lower the fan or any other buttons on the climate, it turns it out of auto mode. So if I press to lower the speed, you see it's turned off the auto climate button. but it's kept on the auto vent button. But again, if you manually override that, then it'll just step through them where you want it to. So you can have that in manual mode and keep auto on, I think, by the look of it. No, you can't. Confusing. Notice you've also got the Hamburger menu with climate settings, which kind of duplicate all of this. So internal air circulation, activate on fluid use, activate on entering a tunnel, automatic ventilation, auto dehumidify and smart ventilation, defog, defrost options, climate settings. You can, it's on eco mode, climate, to save a bit of energy. And you can also link climate settings for auto adjustments, so you can have it turn on the heated steering wheel or the driver's seats warm with ventilation based on what level of climate control you've got. So if you've got it on heat elsewhere and you're trying to warm the whole thing up, then the steering wheel and the seats will automatically come on. Notice that the screen button for the vents gives you all the options in one go to pick. And the graphic shows you airflow. Because I've currently got it on driver only. It's only showing driver's side. I'll turn it off, both sides. And fan speed. And then turn it off. There is a shortcut to turning off auto defog, and that is to press the defrost button for 3 seconds. So I press it now, it'll start blinking, and it's gone off. Press it again, it's back on. So that saves digging through the menus. If you press and hold the recirc button, starting smart ventilation, so you can force it to start smart ventilation, and it started it. Yeah, it's doing it again. One trick I've covered before, if you want it to always be on climate, just press and hold either the entertainment or the climate button, and then you get this pop-up message: return selected display when the other display times out. So if you want it to go back to climate all the time, you just select climate. So wait a couple of seconds, it'll switch back to climate, or have it on entertainment, or have it on nothing, just manual. When it comes to rear defrosting, if you press the rear defroster button, indicator lights up. That also defrosts the side mirrors, and it turns off after 20 minutes or when the vehicle is in the off position. Notice that the climate obviously affects the range. So if I put auto climate on, notice you've got 3 levels and 3 levels of fan which it sets. So that changes to medium and low if I keep on pressing it. Also notice on the display it's given you with it off and given it with you on, and also if you press driver only what your range will be. So if I turn auto off and I just put heat on, the fan's on level 4. But if I start at level 1, you can see it'll be 265 on level 1, 258 on level 2, 252 on level 3, 250, 250 on 5, 250 on 6, 250 on 7, and 249 on 8. And having the AC on and the heat on doesn't seem to affect the calculation. Despite what I said about the heat button not affecting the GOM range, the temperature actually does if you lower it. So starting at 17, it loses a mile of range for every half degree at this stage. All the way up to 27, where you lose, it goes from 282 down to 242. You lose 40 miles of range. So the key to using any of this climate is lower temperatures and lower fan speeds if you're using climate. If you can get away with the steering wheel and seat, then all better. Also notice that turning eco mode climate off, I think it only affects the speed of the fan. It doesn't seem to affect the GOM range. No, it doesn't. So it's not reporting any change to the GOM when you turn eco mode on and off. I think it's just strength of the fan. Right, I hope you found that useful, and I hope it helps clear up some of the confusion. Thanks for watching.